Good morning. Welcome to World Peace Wednesdays. And my name's Holly Hawkins Marwood. And I am so glad to welcome you to this day. For us, it's quite early in the morning. It's 8 a.m. on Wednesday in California. Slated to be another hot day. And in the middle of our hotter part of our summer. And here we are, World Peace Wednesdays. The intention of this is to be in a place of seeing and accessing and choosing the energy of peace in a very conscious, tangible way. So welcome, Yuko-san, for being here. So the idea about World Peace Wednesdays really came about because there is so much concern in the world right now that's easy to connect with, that of looking at things that are unsettled and destabilized and patterns that are really changing in our world. I mean, that's the best way to say it. Whether you look at the environment, whether you look at the political system, the economics, how people are doing just in general, there are a lot of things that are destabilized. And my point of view is things are being destabilized for change. We've all been asking for change and desiring a lot of change in our lives and in the world and in our systems, that some of them are quite old, and it feels like it's a time for a major revamp. And so when things are being changed, when they're being, in a sense, deconstructed to reconstruct, then there is a destabilization. I remember years ago when I was channeling the High Council of Orion, they talked about the fact that when, say, for example, we're remodeling a house and we have a house and we have a vision about how we want it to be better, more aligned, more appropriate for our life right now. Whatever it is, we want to make some change, and the change based on our vision is better. So then we make all the arrangements, and what happens before we have that brand new remodeled house, whether it's the kitchen or all of it? What happens is things get destroyed to be rebuilt, right? And in the middle of the reconstruction, the demolishing to rebuild, it can be annoying, it can be unsettling, it can be messy and dusty and dirty. But the reality is we know that the change is happening because something good is coming about, right? We have a vision and it's in action. And since we have this vision and we're in action around it, we don't think the world is coming to an end because our house is torn apart. We hold the vision of what the next new thing is. And so my personal feeling is a lot of these changes that we're seeing in the world is this dismantling of some of the old systems. Do I know how this is going to play out and work out? Not at all. I really don't. But I hold the vision that so many of us have been asking for change and desiring change, and really putting a lot of energy into changing ourselves and our relationship with the world, and just envisioning a world that's better and more aligned with what we know is possible. That we've really created an energy that is creating change, and change often happens because things have to get dismantled to be reconstructed into a new form. So anyway, World Peace Wednesday started because of that. This idea of how do we, in the moments of our upset or curiosity or fear even of looking and seeing what's going on in the world around us, how do we hold steady in a sense of peace and trust in ourselves and our ability to navigate the changes that are here and or that are coming, so that we stay that beacon of light anchored in peace within us and within ourselves. And that's what sort of motivated me to begin World Peace Wednesdays. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun to regularly connect with the energy of peace? And what comes along with peace is a sense of trust and a sense of there's a bigger energy at play here, and really leaning into that, because as we know, what we focus on expands. And so it's really easy often to focus on the things that aren't happening, that aren't right, that feel uncomfortable, that are changing in our world, and we don't have an answer or reason for them yet. And that can be very destabilizing. But if we keep holding this vision and like refocusing, what do we really want to focus on? Where is the life that we would love to have and desire to have? It's centered in peace and trust in ourselves and feeling our light and living our light and being able to see other people's light as well and trust them in their process of their unfolding and awakening in whatever way is exactly perfect for them. So that's the foundation of World Peace Wednesdays, is giving us a moment to tap into that, open to a new level of awareness. Now, how do we do it is every time we're here is I'm also sharing a message from Ishtara. And Ishtara is a beautiful non-physical being who I've been channeling since the end of 2011, almost 8 years now. And she has become a really constant companion and guide for me. She brought through the universal sphere, which you'll also experience in every World Peace Wednesdays. And aside from bringing that to us, she has become this wisdom figure, this beautiful source of love and understanding, of reframing. She often is answering people's questions with a very simple sort of twist. Like we look at a particular situation in a certain way and we want to see a solution that way. And then she'll take that whole experience and just turn it just a little bit, get us to look at it from a different point of view, and bam, the energy changes, our point of view changes, and away we go from a whole different energetic and emotional point of view around those things. So it's just been incredible to be working with her. So I'll share a message from her, meaning I'll channel a message from her. And then while I'm channeling, she'll be offering everyone a universal sphere. And usually, honestly, when I'm doing them during these moments, there are probably about 3 universal spheres that are done. So this is really a gifting to anyone who watches it, whether you're present in real time or whether you're watching later on. The reality is these energies were working outside of time and space. So we're working in the quantum field. So it's wonderful if you're here live, and I see I don't have my glasses on, so I see a bunch of names here. I'll put my glasses on a second. I really appreciate all of you being here. I'm so happy you're here live. And then I know a lot of you watch later on when your life allows for it, because this time isn't always convenient for everyone in their life to just pop on live. So it's just a way for us to take that pause, and whether you're listening live or later on, the impact is the same. You still receive the message and the energetic transmission from Ishtara's message the same, and as well as the energies of the universal sphere. Before I go on, let me just pop my glasses on so I can actually read what it is. So welcome, Yuko-san and Crystal and Heather, Cindy, Tracy, and Leona. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time to show up. So one of the things that I've been asked recently, aside from what I wanted to share this morning, was people who've been watching the World Peace Wednesdays regularly and experiencing the universal sphere. They were saying, how does this universal sphere work so effectively at bringing this sense of peace, this sense of love, this sense of expansion? I mean, there are all kinds of things people feel in the moment of a universal sphere. And people are saying, but you just did that for a few minutes. How's that happening? So since I've been receiving that question from a few different people, I thought it would be worth sharing with you. The universal sphere is this incredible experience that, as you know, if you've watched these World Peace Wednesdays, I never spent a lot of time doing them in my channeled state. But by the way, you don't need to channel to do this. We teach people to do this all the time, and they can do it just as easily as I'm doing it when I'm channeling it. It just kind of gives that extra little fun bit when I'm channeling Ishtara, and through me, she's doing the universal sphere for everyone. But what we're doing is in training to the unified field. And the unified field is this field really of all that is, in that all knowledge, information, wisdom, energy, information, vibration, however you want to describe it, source energy, we're tapping into that totality, all of it. And what that means then is we're really in training to a field that it still includes 3D, but it includes all the other dimensional realities and vibrations, and largely information and experience that we can, again, entrain with. And when things entrain is they start to vibrate in the same pattern. Many people refer to entrainment like if you have cuckoo clocks or pendulums, things that are all in the same place, they all start behaving, and the pendulum starts swinging at the same pace, even if they didn't start that way. That's called entrainment. Entrainment is also for women when they have their menstrual cycle, their moon cycle, every month, like women who live in the same house, like in a dorm room, or women who live, like a group of women who share an apartment, women even in a work situation, they can all start having their cycles at the same time. That's a form of entrainment also. So it's like this vibrational alignment that happens. Now, so entrainment in this case with the universal sphere is that what we're doing is we're entraining to the unified field, where there's more knowledge, more information, more possibilities than we typically entrain with on a conscious, intentional level as we're living our 3D life. Most of the time we're navigating through our mind and what we already know and experience in the 3D. And to change our experience of life, what we want to do is entrain and receive information and energy and insight from a larger field of energy. So when we do the universal sphere, we're entraining to a unified field, a field that's complete, it's total. And what happens there is we have more possibility to receive new information in the form of vibration, aha moments, and just resonance than we did before we did the universal sphere. So within the unified field is the profound experience of peace, of love, of understanding, of acceptance, of harmony, of all of it. So oftentimes in 3D, we could be in the middle of more of a polarity experience, right? Polarity, we're here in this dimension of polarity. It's a fact. I'm really happy, and then I'm really sad. I'm well, and now I'm going through a health challenge, and I feel unwell in my body. I feel very successful, and then I might feel unsuccessful. I might feel like I have a lot of friends, and I might feel like I don't, or I'm really on track with work and I'm not. Okay, we all know that's experienced really well. It comes with the territory when we drop into 3D. And there are really good reasons for it. It's not just here to help us feel victimized. There are great reasons for polarity, but there are times when we want to get past that, right? And we want to be able to receive information from a non-polarized field, which is what the unified field is. Sure, polarity is a little subset of it, but when we bring in the universal sphere, we're really bringing in a field where polarity is a tiny little piece of it and unity is the larger vibrational field. So from that, we get a chance to access a new vibration, a new experience, a new information. There are all kinds of things that we do with the universal sphere. We use them for ourselves. We do them for other people. We do them for our pets. And most importantly, we do universal spheres for situations. And situations are things where there's a lot going on, right? If somebody's going through a divorce, there are a lot of people involved. There are a lot of energies involved, right? That's a situation. If your child has trouble going to sleep every night, that's a situation. That involves the whole family. It's not just singular to your child. It becomes a family thing, right? If your child has trouble falling to sleep every night, I'm not sure who needs to hear that today. But so the idea is the universal sphere can help with that. It brings in a balancing and an entrainment to a unified field. And the consequence of that, this goes back to World Peace Wednesdays, is we do feel a great sense of peace. We feel a great sense of heart-centeredness. There many times people feel very expanded, and it moves you because you've been trained to this field into your day in that field of energy. And so you begin to process and expect and respond to the world in a different way because your foundational vibration has been shifted by interacting with the universal sphere, with the unified field. And as Ishtada says, which we all love who are involved with the universal sphere, you're in training to the unified field. You're in training to the field of infinite possibilities, where, as she says, as we all now say, solution energy abounds. And that's what we're looking for most of the time. What is the solution to whatever polarity experience we're having in the moment that feels uncomfortable? And we can access more possibility by entraining to the unified field. So with all that being said, I'm going to just gonna tune into Ishtada and share a message. And so what you can do right now, if you're in the right time and place to do this, is open yourself to receive. Open yourself to receive a really beautiful, balanced, entrained experience that's just bringing in this infusion for you. Really balancing anything, any kind of polarity that's happening in your life and bringing it into a unity. Now, the truth is, I still have polarized experiences. I woke up just not even feeling that great this morning. Why? I don't know. Just because I have a lot on my mind, maybe that's why. But so, it doesn't mean that I don't experience polarity experiences because I'm one of the founders of the Universal Sphere and I channel Ishtada and I know the Universal Sphere incredibly well. It's not that. But what I do have by connecting with the Universal Sphere is an ability to bring a sense of balance and new information and a greater point of view that helps me stay on track the way I want to choose to live my life. So I feel very empowered and not as victimized by life or other people or circumstances. It puts me in this really beautiful, energetic space. And that's what I'd like to offer up to each one of you this morning. So I'm going to close my eyes down as I channel Ishtada. Just helps me receive her messages a little bit better. And it'll just take a moment to tune in a little more deeply to her. And I hope you enjoy the experience. And I'd love to hear what your experience is afterwards. Greetings, great beings of light. My name is Ishtada. It is always a pleasure to be able to share, to come through, to have a voice in the world. So those whose ears are ready to hear and their vibrations are ready to shift, to find a new relationship to life, can hear the messages, can entrain to this new possibility for living life in a brand new way. Today's message has already mostly been shared, but this idea that in the unified field, all that you desire is already there. It's already waiting for you. And one could say, well, if it's waiting for me, why am I not having an experience of it yet? For many of you feel that I can feel that it's close, but I don't understand why I'm not actually experiencing it in my life because I really have a strong desire for this. So let's take a few steps into this experience, helping you connect with a greater sense of possibility that this can be yours. First of all, it's very important to understand that all of your desires are legitimate. That's number one. And while desires sounding legitimate may sound funny and very grounded, but the truth is there are many people who feel like, I have a desire for this, but I don't know if I deserve it. I don't know if I'm smart enough, cute enough, tall enough, dynamic enough, skilled enough, whatever enough to receive it. So there's this sense that I have this desire, I have this thing that is really calling me. But there's a foundational wondering or disbelief that it's ever possible. Can you relate to that? Like, I really desire having a meaningful love in my life, but I don't know if I'm ever going to have it. Now, most of the time, the reason one questions whether they can have it or not is because they're looking at their past history. Make sense? Or they're looking at and holding on to things other people have said, questioning through their own filter, meaning they wouldn't want what you want. And so therefore then they make comments, and it could be family, it could be well-meaning friends, it could be a stranger on the street, but because their filter doesn't have that in their field of desires, they're not sure it should be in yours either. But the bigger energy is when one is an adult looking back and saying, well, I'm not sure I deserve or I can have it because look at all these old things that have happened. This is my previous history. So the first thing you want to be able to do is honor the fact that the desire is still there, even if you've had a history that doesn't align with that desire. Wouldn't you agree with that? Your desire is still there. So that means your desire is still legitimate. So what you're going to be asked to do is as you think about your desire, keep yourself in your present moment and vibrationally visioning into your future. And when you begin to catch yourself looking at past history, say, but oh, look at, that relationship was a disaster, and that one, and that one, and that one was, so why would I think I could have a good one? I must be broken about relationships. What you could say is, based on my vibrational stance at the time, in those times in the past, those were my leading edge of growth in relationship field. But that was then, and this is now, and I'm not that person anymore. Would you agree that who you were in those other experiences, whether it's relationship, whether it's job, no matter what it is, there's somehow you've changed and grown to be where you are today. So you're not that person anymore. So every time you look back and you say, oh, but look at those things from the past, you're reigniting the old energy that you've intentionally moved beyond. So let's let the past be the past. And literally say that to yourself. Okay, in the past, that was who I was, and those were the experience I was having. That was my leading edge of growth. I'm a new person now. And so you put yourself more in your present moment. And what that can do is then bring you to the place where you say, all my desires are legitimate. And there's a second reason for this. The second reason for this is there are many, many other things in life that you have no desire to do or experience at all. Wouldn't you agree? You might know people who are doing things or having experiences, and you would say, oh, no way, I'm never doing that, or I'm never going to have that experience. I would never even open myself up to it. So there are many, many things that you don't desire, and there are many that you do. So the ones that you do desire, you know that is within your field of possibilities. So this is point number 3. Not only are they legitimate, but they're within your field of possibilities to achieve, to experience, to grow into. So notice how that feels to just begin to feel, and the universal spheres are going to begin now. But notice how you feel as you begin to open up to the possibility that those experiences I had in the past are in the past, and I do see how I'm a different person, how I've grown and changed, healed, transformed, maybe gotten stronger, more empowered, maybe just more clear on what you're willing to experience in your life. And let what was in the past be totally present for yourself in this moment. And how does that feel? As you bring yourself into awareness of who you've become through all those previous polarized experiences, you want to be in your present moment in the most empowered place you can. And then envision yourself in your own field of infinite possibilities, your own experience, that all you desire is legitimate, all you desire is possible. But notice how that feels. Keep your breathing full and complete as you're doing this. Open yourself up to the legitimacy of your desires. Sorry about that. Keep your breathing nice and full and complete. For within the field of infinite possibilities, which is being brought into your energetic field in this moment, is the solution, is the match, is the experience for you to begin to fulfill your desires. The field of infinite possibilities contains everything, all vibrational realities. So the solution, the energetic response to your desire is possible. It is there. It cannot be missing. A unified field unto itself is complete. So now take a moment as you open up the space that you're in to feeling the possibilities closer. Begin to notice anything that you feel conditionally has to change in order for you to receive what you desire. What are you believing must change in order for you to receive what you desire? Bring that into your field of awareness. Do you feel like you need to be happier, more successful? Does something need to change in your body? Do you believe that you have to heal old things in order to move forward? What are the beliefs that you have that you feel you need to take care of, that is the stepping stone to you receiving all that you desire? And as that comes to mind, notice if you can set that aside. Does that really need to be true? Or is it something you think would be a good idea, but is it really true? And if it's not true, move it out of your awareness so it's not a condition to your manifesting what you desire. Because very often the human experience has one putting things conditionally in the way of all that you desire. What if that weren't true anymore? What if your desire could be there without the conditions that you've put into place? Open up to that. Bring it closer into your now. Because when you have conditions on your desires, it means your desires are still out in the future and they're not in your now. They can't be in your now because you've put a condition on them. Now, if the condition seems required, this is what you do with it. Begin to focus on the manifestation of what the condition is first. So if you do have a condition there, you say, well, I must do this thing before I can manifest this bigger desire of mine. Focus on that thing that you feel is a requirement first. And breathe all of this, expanding into your field of infinite possibilities, opening up your awareness. Notice how you're feeling as you're entraining to the unified field. And the last part of this experience today with the universal sphere is to bring that thing that you desire, that experience, and instead of seeing it out in the future, begin to bring it very, very close and feel it move into your energetic field. You don't need to know all the details of the who, what, when, where, how, and why. Bring that experience that you have out in your future and bring it into your current unified field of your body, human experience, your energy bodies, your auric field. Bring it in and bring it all the way into your heart. Notice how you feel as you bring that desire into your now and into your heart. You notice how easy it is to do that. It's now in your field. Take a moment for yourself to feel how you feel. And now take a nice breath in and release it. And then please open your eyes if you wish. Thank you all for being here. I see some more people have joined us. Melina and Patty, Michelle, Doris. Thank you so much for all of you for being here. It looks like there are other names, but I might not be able to see them up at the top. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like to share about what your experience was, I'd love for you to type it into the chat. And it's so much fun to get here on Wednesdays when I can, to do World Peace Wednesdays. It's wonderful for me, and we've received such incredible feedback from people who have connected with these, as I mentioned before, either live or when people watch the replays. So I wanted to share, this is called coming back from channeling, talking. It always gets a little funny initially until I ground back into Holly. I wanted to share that these World Peace Wednesdays are on the Facebook page where you'd be watching it, but we've also archived it on our YouTube page. And so you can go back and watch any of these. And as I mentioned before, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, the reality is whether you're listening live or whether you're listening later, you're still in that field of potential. We're in the quantum field, so it really doesn't matter, honestly, if you're watching them live or if you're watching them later on. The impact, the energy is exactly the same. You're connecting with it as if you're connecting in real time. And so we've had people go back and just start watching the previous ones that we've archived. So I'll actually post on this page where they're archived on the Universal Sphere, on our YouTube page, Soul Genesis YouTube page, and World Peace Wednesdays are archived there. I thank you so much for being here. I'm not sure how we're going to move forward in the next month with World Peace Wednesdays. On Sunday, Paul and I are leaving to Japan. We're going over there to teach and do one-on-one sessions again. We're so excited to get back over there. We have so much fun when we're in Japan. So, and with our significant time difference, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that, honestly. So I'll come up with a solution and I will post it on the on this Universal Sphere page about what we're going to be doing with World Peace Wednesdays while we're gone. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have a terrific day or evening wherever you are, whether it's Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon or evening, or even Thursday morning or evening, wherever you are. Make it great. I wish you great peace in your life, in no matter what circumstances going on, that peace and trust that you've got this, that your soul is guiding you to a greater experience in each and every moment. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care.